Gap is what happens when you hold it to the floor and crush the man next to you. There's space in between your back bumper and your front bumper. We, in the South, we refer to it as the gap band.
Well, I think, Formula One is for grown-ups.
Shut the grade on this one, Max. Here's the guts.
When we start following the move, go! The players are going to get down the turn!
Yes, listen, 51 words.
Good evening, mate.
So, what about the sideways? You've got a race in your own lane. Now he's on the grass, he brings it back. That's a great driving there.
Torque and Power. Your motoring and motorsport podcast.
All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Nick DiCembra. I'm here with Simon Gonzo Travellini.
Hello.
And this is the Talk and Power podcast, episode 13.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13, all
Lucky
right.
for some.
How you been?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
I go in for surgery tomorrow.
You were telling me. I didn't know.
Yeah. So that's why we had to do it tonight.
Yeah.
Probably going to get some background noise from the rain, but you get that.
We're actually recording again from your workshop, so
Yeah.
thanks for allowing us.
Malaga is not the Hoon capital, probably number 2 in the world, I'd say.
Yeah, number 2. Close second to Belcata.
And it's raining, so expect to hear some V6 Commodores screaming up and down the street. Old Dan Ricciardo.
Yeah, come up, good run in there at Singapore. He was hoping for a win. He's come second numerous times there, finished on the podium numerous times, but hasn't had the win. And he went into that race fairly confident of a win. Actually, he was talking it up on the Saturday. They're qualifying. He qualified in third. Max, he was out qualified by Max once again. But the start of the race, what an absolute disaster for Ferrari.
For Ferrari, definitely. I'm not sure, look, all I can, watching it over and over again, all I can think of is that Max didn't see...
Vettel, he was getting the squeeze from both of them.
Yeah, I know. Vettel's come across pretty fast. He obviously didn't see Max or expected Max to break. And I guess, it's one of those things. It was an unfortunate event, but...
Yeah. Let's just have a listen here.
And it's lights out, away we go. Verstappen gets an excellent start. Sebastian Vettel needs to cover him off. Kimi Raikkonen on this side, and he's crashed with Verstappen. He's hit Vettel as well. Raikkonen is out before the first corner. He's gone into the Red Bull there as well. Carnage as Fernando Alonso gets involved in the McLaren. The Toro Rosso gets to the escape road, and Fernando Alonso is out of this race, as is Kimi Raikkonen and Max Verstappen as well. It's the second time this season Raikkonen and Verstappen have collided. Yes, Vettel going backwards. He is off and looks to the outside.
I've got to say
he's
that,
reversing round turn 5. Sebastian Vettel has lost his front wing. Disaster for him and his teammate at the start. Can he get back to the pits? But look at the damage on the left-hand
He's got to
side.
pull over. He's pouring fluid out the back of the car. He's got a damaged radiator from when he hit his teammate.
So for those of you that couldn't see that, basically Raikkonen's come up the inside. Verstappen, I think, was focused on, finding a way of blocking Raikkonen. Vettel's come across, and he's assumed that Verstappen's going to slow down, I guess. And, there's been a collision between the three of them. Raikkonen and Verstappen have spun out, and Vettel has damaged the rear of the car. Looks like it's losing fluid. And then later on, he spins out and he's actually controlling the car backwards, which I thought was pretty impressive.
It was pretty cool.
I think that if they ever run a race where the cars drive backwards, he's in there with a chance. I didn't even know these things had reverse, to be honest. But anyway, it's ruined Vettel's championship,
It's
really.
28 points behind. We're at the the business end yet, but we're getting close to the business end. This was the last thing Ferrari needed. And guys in the social media centre at Ferrari, you may have jumped the gun a bit, tweeting that it was Max Verstappen's fault while the race is still on. The guy hadn't even got out of his car properly. I don't know, a little bit premature on that one in the Ferrari social media. I don't want to mock Ferrari anyway, but it wasn't the outcome we were hoping for.
Anyway, see, Dan flew back to Perth.
Yeah, he caught up with your friend today.
He caught up with my friend?
Yeah, Rita.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
was he here in Malaga?
Yeah, no, not far from here, Whiteman Park. So
there you go.
Yeah, came and caught up with Mark McGowan, our premier.
So do you reckon they discussed 180 kilowatt per tonne? Because his Formula One cars,
Well, they've debuted his 2014 car at the Whiteman Park renovations. So there's a grand opening today, and the 2014 car will be a fixture there.
There you go. I must go and check that out.
Yeah, I'd like to see that car. That's the first car he won a race in as well.
Yeah.
So,
Barbagallo's, they had the Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
Did you go?
Yeah, I was there all day Sunday.
Did you catch up with Laurie and Gino?
No, I didn't, no.
They were down there, and then we saw him at the Queens later on.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It wasn't them that did the burnout out the front in the Ferrari.
Oh, okay.
What definitely wasn't. I'm telling you, it wasn't them. Anyway, so McLaren's dropped Honda finally.
Do we want to hear the soap opera?
All right, let's
listen to the soap opera. Let's listen.
Confused by F1's engine soap opera? Maybe you should be. It all began with Ron. 3 years ago, Ron decided McLaren needed works engines. So he gave up Toto's Mercedes engines and did a deal with Yasuhisa for Honda engines.
Engine is a piece of jewelry.
When Christian wanted Honda engines too, Ron said no. Anyway, it turned out the Honda engine was slow, and that frustrated Fernando. Although sometimes he saw the funny side. A year later, Ron was gone, replaced by Zach. Yasuhisa went, replaced by Yusuke. Honda engines were replaced too, again and again and again. Fernando was really frustrated.
I never race with less power in my life.
Pretty soon, Zach didn't want Honda engines anymore. He asked Toto if he could have Mercedes engines again. Toto said no. Maurizio said he couldn't have Ferrari engines either. That left Cyril's Renault engines. Cyril said Zach could have his engines, but Zach had to find someone to take his own Honda engines first. Christian said his junior team would have them. They were using Cyril's Renault engines, and Cyril wanted Christian's junior driver Carlos. So Carlos signed for Cyril's Renault team, on loan that is, and Christian's junior team got Honda engines, and Zach got Renault engines. Even Fernando might be happy again, sorted. But wait, Cyril said Christian's senior team couldn't have Renault engines after 2018. So will it be Red Bull Honda in 2019? Are Max and Daniel now a bit confused? Will McLaren be better off with Renault? Will Honda ever be any good? And what about Porsche coming in? Stay tuned.
So it's an interesting situation, isn't it?
So is the Porsche going to be called Porsche, or is it going to be called Tag, or
bloody Casio or something? I don't know.
Seiko.
I've got to be honest, maybe some of our listeners could correct us on this, but this is the first time that I know of a driver being involved in an engine change.
Or maybe he was signed to Renault.
The way I understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that Carlos Sainz is being relinquished to Renault. Renault will give Renault engines to Zach Brown in lieu of Honda going over to Red Bull. That's the deal. That's how I understand it. And
wait a minute. What? Red Bull's going to get Honda engines?
No, sorry, Toro Rosso.
I was going to say, Jesus, don't scare me like that.
Toro Rosso. But it's an interesting situation that we find ourselves
So
in.
who's going to use the Porsche engines?
That's 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
that throws in There's also been talk of Aston Martin as well coming into the fray.
Building Formula One engines.
That's correct.
They have enough trouble with road engines. Anyway,
I think a bit of a comical moment in the press conference after the race. I mean, you know, Dan, good Italian boy.
Oh, yeah. Dan farted.
Yeah, he farted. So let's just have a listen here.
Many congratulations. If we could please have a word from Valtteri in his own language.
Well, I can't have a listen because my headphones don't work, but...
Yritetään tästä nyt olla, kun kaveri heitti leijan tuossa vieressä äsken, mutta niin, kutospaikalle.
So basically, you got to watch the video for that one because the subtitles. But Paul Valtteri has they've asked him to speak in his own he's from Finland, and at that moment Daniel has decided to pass wind and
drop on.
Yeah, even Lewis found it quite comical actually. So anyway, never mind.
Are you sure? I thought he was smiling at a reflection of himself.
Possibly. Look, while we're on Lewis, we may as well just say it was a good drive from him. I mean, he saw the dollar signs there at the start of the race. It was an opening for him, went around the outside, never looked backwards.
Yeah.
He started from fifth. He didn't qualify very well. So for him to come up to fifth, I thought that was a good effort. It wasn't a good effort. He was lucky and he made hay while the sun shines.
Anyway, it's something more exciting, MotoGP.
It was an awesome race, the San Marino race.
But how good are these guys to, you know, it's pissing down rain and you go out there with slicks.
Yeah.
You know,
No, it was.
I'll tell you what, that would be very unnerving. I wouldn't be able to do it.
But they obviously, I mean, they saw that there was the weather was drying up, and by the end of the race, it was almost completely dry.
But I'm not going to doubt that. But have you tried to drive a car with ball tyres on a wet road?
No. And
You know,
don't ask me if I'm going to ride a motorbike on slicks
exactly
on a wet road.
what I mean.
Just forget it. It's not happening.
Crazy, just crazy. But it just shows you the calibre and skill of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, so Lorenzo took the early lead. It's good to see him start to get a bit hungry. You know. And you know, in typical Lorenzo fashion, with a massive lead, he crashed out. So that left the door wide open.
Yeah.
And you know, the rest is, as they say, history.
Well, it was kind of sad. I was rooting for Petrucci, obviously. He was leading the majority of the race practically, but I think Marquez had his measure from the get-go. He just sat there and really picked his time.
Look, Marquez, you know, like him or hate him, he's developed a lot of maturity, you know, so he can just do that. He can just sit there, be patient, wait for the opportune moment, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
I think the disaster of the race, apart from Rossi not being there, was Danny Pedrosa.
Oh, I just can't believe that he was so poor in qualifying and had no race pace whatsoever. He almost got beaten by a guy running with his bike.
Zarco, yep.
You know?
It would have been funny, actually, if Zarco did beat him.
There wasn't much in it. I was actually rooting for Zarco, to be honest, because it would have been funny. But
it just shows you, like, 12 months ago, we would have been praising, you know, Pedrosa, and now, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But there you go. So moving on to the supercars.
Yeah, it was a huge weekend, but I'm going to call it right now. I'm going to say it here right now. I didn't watch any of the race. So before our listeners, I did not watch the race. I was at the Italian track day all day. So speaking of Italian track day, they'll be posting a video of that in the coming days. Maybe, by the weekend, something will be on the net.
Well, you definitely won't see the Ferrari that did the burnout at the front of the Queens on that video.
No.
It will not be on there.
No, it didn't happen. Because it didn't happen. Anyway, qualifying for the Sandown 500, Cam Waters and Richie Stanaway got it on Got on pole, Scott McLaughlin in second, Davey Reynolds. That was good to see them up there in third, and Jamie Whincup in fourth, sharing that car with Paul Dumbrell. Now, the Super... Oh, no, we won't. We'll get to the Super 2s in a minute. We'll just cover the race just briefly here.
Well, listen, you know what I find interesting about this? You're a mad Ford V8 Supercars fan, yep, and you didn't watch the race.
And that came first,
and it was first, second, and third. First, second, and third. You didn't watch that race. Now, I'd like to point out, you did, however, watch the Eagles game, didn't you?
I watched that from siren to siren, that one.
And how did they go?
Oh, God, that was terrible. That was...
So what's the moral of the story here, Nick?
Yeah, stop watching. So what are you suggesting on October 8th? I can't watch Bathurst.
But no, don't watch it. If you want to see Ford win, don't watch it. Do yourself a favour.
So, yeah, look, there was an incident in the opening lap. The tyre wall was damaged. So that delayed the race quite substantially.
I think damaged is a very soft word to be using.
Yeah.
That poor old tyre wall copped it over that weekend, didn't it?
Oh, mate, it was more cars hit that tyre wall than... it was phenomenal. So anyway, in the end, Cam Waters managed to... It was his maiden Sandown 500 win. It was really good to see Cam up there and Richie Stanaway in the PRA car. In second spot was Scott McLaughlin and Alex Premer. Third, in another PRA car, Chaz Mostert and Steve Owen. And fourth was Garth Tander and James Golding. And fifth, Fabian Coulthard, that is, and Tony D'Alberto.
You know what I want to know, Nick? How do you feel about the Shane Van Gisbergen penalty after qualifying?
Look,
how do you feel about his comments?
I don't like his comments at all. They were, I don't know, he just come across as a bit of a flog, to be honest.
I just want to read this because this is some classic SVG.
It is.
I obviously didn't want to turn him around, Van Gisbergen said on Saturday while the investigation was continuing. To me, he mucked up the corner, had the choice to get out of the way. He didn't. Went round the corner and just stopped. To me, it was a brake test. If he's playing those dirty games, whatever. Beardo's, I think, is going to go through it all and come back to me.
That's Craig Baird, by the way.
Craig Baird,
the Racing Standards Observer.
If he's brake tested me, then game on. Game on, Nick.
Game on.
Game on.
Game on in practice, eh? Brake testing in practice.
But if he hadn't, it's my mistake, and I'll go apologise to him.
So he's covered his bases there, hasn't he? He's really covered his bases on SVG.
So if he brake tested him, I'm going to kill him.
I'm going to bash ya. But if you didn't, that's okay.
It's okay. I'll buy you flowers. Yeah. So I'm going to skip the rest of it because I just think Van Gisbergen's a bit of a dickhead, to be honest. But later on, after he was handed, like it was obvious, they went through the video, they checked it, triple-checked it, got everyone's opinion. Probably asked Mark Scaife.
Yeah, they would have asked Scaife. He has to sign off on it.
Scaife,
yeah.
and
Russell Ingle.
And who?
Ingle,
that's it. Yeah, the enforcer.
Yeah.
The enforcer.
They got their tick of approval.
The enforcer and the arsehole have to sign off on it. So they probably got them involved in the video umpiring there, right? So he accepted the penalty, right? But also accepted that a precedent had been set for the rest of the season. Yeah, it's a weird one, being penalised in practice for an incident in practice. Van Gisbergen said, it was a silly incident. Fabian was going so slow, wrecked his lap, and I ended up running into the back of him. If that's how it's going to be in practice for the rest of the year, I'll get in his way every time. It's pretty stupid. Nick, I think that the stupid in this is Shane Van Gisbergen. Because, like, on the one hand, he was going to bash him. Then he was going to go and apologise, buy him flowers, maybe take him to dinner, glass of wine, who knows. And then after he cops it, he's like, I'm going to go and deliberately Well, I mean, effectively, he's saying that he's going to brake test him.
Those are exact
He's
words.
effectively going to brake test him.
If that's how it's going to be in practice for the rest of the year, I'll get in his way every time.
So, I don't know. I think they probably should have given him some more penalties after those comments, you know. It's very disappointing. This is someone that I kind of held, you know, with a certain degree of regard, but now
Me too.
He's carrying on like a spoiled brat, to be honest. But anyway.
Yeah.
So there was some big crashes, like horrific crashes.
There was. The first one was on the Saturday in the Super 2 race. It was Jonathan Webb and Todd Hazelwood. Let's just have a listen here.
Number 78 on the outside of him is Todd Hazelwood.
Oh, that's a bad one, Nick. That's... Jeez whiz, there is nothing left of that car.
That is a shocker. This will be a red flag.
That's
Jonathan
incredible.
Webb is the other partner in this. Bad scenes at Sandown at the end of the back straight again.
Yeah.
That was a bad. And you know, he got a 15,000, but 7,500 really fine over that. But that did look like he came across and bumped him off.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
A horrific part of the track. You know, yeah.
We saw an incident there earlier on in the day. In race 2 of the Touring Car Masters. Let's just have a look at that one as well while we're here.
Actually happened. Here we go. White and red Tirana in shot. On the left front, it just went on and on.
That's not going to... That's not going to buff out. That's not going to buff out. I cringe every time we see these cars crash. You know, that's a beautiful LX Tirana.
This angle here is terrible. Oh, God, I hate that.
Now, is this the same guy that crashed last time?
Yeah, that's him, Jason Gomersall.
And it was a bad hit last time,
it was a huge hit.
Where is he finding these two-door body shells? Because I'll tell you what, you know, I've tried for years to find a two-door and, you know, they're just not out there.
Nah.
Big lock-up, hey, big lock-up.
We can keep playing that, but I'd rather not.
Nah.
Let's just stop that right there.
That series always makes me cringe because, you know, they are... You can't buy XAs or, you know, LX hatchbacks. They're just not out there. And if they are out there, they're worth a lot of money if you can find them. So, yeah, anyway.
We've seen a few get wrecked over the years, you know, and it is disappointing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, well. So, Dumbrell Motorsports.
Yeah, Lucas, brother of Paul Dumbrell, they're brothers.
So it seems like he may have seen the light, and that light is all blue.
All blue, yeah. I must admit, my eyebrows raised somewhat when I saw him make this change to Ford. With some, not uncertainty, I don't want to say uncertainty, but we still don't know what model PRA or Penske going to run with in 18 they're going with the Falcon still, but in 19, well, surely we're not going to be running with a Falcon. The car will be 2 years obsolete.
What surprises me is that you would expect, after running a Holden for so long, that you would have so much data on the setup of the car, the engine, so on and so forth. And I don't really think that they're that unmatched. I mean, a lot of people argue that there's been a lot of Ford victories this year, but you know, the Penske team, I mean, they're just a good team.
Yeah,
you know,
no doubt about it.
Definitely, the Red Bull guys had a good run, and they arguably had the best team at the time.
Yeah,
and now the tables are turned. So I don't think it's in the car. I mean, do you think that it's all in the car?
No. I'd love to say it is, but it's not.
They're just so similar now. The chassis are identical.
Yeah.
You know, the engines. I think the blocks are even the same deck height. You know, the canted valve, the cylinder heads are very similar. So, I don't know, just a big move. And I mean, obviously, they must have homes for all their old equipment, their old engines, and because you're not going to reuse anything, are you?
No.
So, big move, big move.
It is a very big move,
especially
for Lucas
now
Dumbrell.
when, like you said, there's so much uncertainty as to, what are they going to be running, and the irony of this is, how does he know that the new V6 combo isn't going to be a better deal?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's yet to be seen, but yeah,
because they have got a twin turbo V6 combination. GM has got that. Ford hasn't.
No, that's right.
So I don't know, a bit of a crazy move. But I tell you, talking about crazy things. Drag week. Another drag week's gone down.
Another drag week has been run and won. Look, Luke actually made contact with me early this morning, but we just haven't been able to tee up to speak with him. So I'm hoping by next podcast we can chat with Luke. Luke Newhoff, that is. He was actually over there and he did all the videoing. And I've got to say, he did an awesome job.
Yeah. He's a
awesome
great
job.
ambassador for our sport and for our country too.
Yeah, he is.
So, out of the 387 entrants, 322 made it to the last meeting.
Yep.
So there was definitely some carnage there. 65 cars.
There was.
But, it's incredible. 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
With, cars that run as quick as 6-second passes.
I've actually got some data here. I didn't print it out for you in the podcast notes, but I'd prepared it in any event.
While you're looking for that, our main man, Harry Haig.
Yeah, Harry.
And the newly christened Steve-O. When did he start calling it Steve-O?
I know, it was news to me as well, but that's what...
So the Aussie Chevelle is officially called Steve-O now.
Yep.
He had a few dramas, dead batteries, charging systems, fuel pumps, etc., etc. Managed to lay down, I think, a couple of 870 passes, which are new PBs for him, and finished with the best average, I believe, out of all the Aussie
That's
entrants.
correct, yes,
Yep. 893, and he made it again.
Yep. Got right through it.
I guess that's the first thing. You need to first finish before you can finish first.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think he finished 4th in class, which I'm pretty sure he did last year as well.
Yeah, I'd have to check that. I haven't been able to find that info. But yeah, I've got the info here in his average times.
But huge effort from all the Aussies that got over there.
Yeah, there were 7 Aussie teams, but Richie, Richie is an Aussie, but he's based over there. So
based in the US now,
so his car's there and everything's over there. He had to actually pull out earlier on because he had duties with Kalita team in the Top Fuel car, and he actually made it to the final against the boss. But anyway, we'll cover that against Dougie in the final in Top Fuels. But Mark Arblaster as well, one of the editors at Street Machine, he was over there as well. And also 2 WA boys, Craig Moore and John Ferroni as well. They John was the fastest out of the Aussie contingency.
Yeah, he ran a new PB. I think it was like a 7:30 something.
Yeah.
So top effort.
Yeah.
He unfortunately ran into a few dramas. I think the ECU.
Yeah. I actually watched an interview with him last night, and it was literally hours that he missed out by. He actually purchased another ECU, but just couldn't get it in time, and he only missed the race by hours. So it was a good effort.
It's incredible. It's a really grueling 1,000 miles.
Well, I've got some data here for you. There's the breakdown of it there. You probably can't read that, but all up it was 825 miles. Now that's going by Google Maps. I don't think they actually go the shortest route. They don't.
No, Harry was saying that a couple of the roads that they went on were really bad, really, really bad. So
even if they went the shortest route possible, it's 825 miles. That's 1,320 kilometres in our. That's from Perth to almost Exmouth.
Crazy.
In a 7-second car.
Yep. Well, the event, the Unlimited winner David Schroeder.
Mm-hmm.
That was an 872 cubic inch nitrous-fed Corvette, and that's crazy. His average was 681.
Yeah,
that's just unbelievable. I believe the Swedes came second. Yeah.
Yeah. They had that that Tirana-looking thing there.
Tirana
as well.
Opal or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yep. So, no, it was a good effort by all of our Australians. We're really proud of you guys over there, especially the West Aussies, and hopefully we'll talk to Luke on our next podcast.
Excellent. Look forward to that.
Yep.
The NHRA ran the Carolina Nationals at ZMAX Dragway in North Carolina.
Yeah, they did. Now, in Top Fuel, we had Richie Crampton came runner-up to Doug Kalita, so the two Kalita cars there. Also in Funny Car, Robert Height won over Courtney Force.
It's been a while since we've seen two Force cars, and I'm trying to think, when was the last time we saw two Coletta cars in a final?
I wouldn't be able to tell you, I don't know.
And Tanner Gray.
Yeah, over Greg Anderson. Again,
Incredible.
Greg Anderson going runner-up. It's two events in a row now.
Yeah. Be good to see him win. But anyway, we're not interested in those cars. We're interested in the Pro Mod cars.
Yeah.
So our man Stevie Jackson qualified 8th with a 5.84 at 247 mile an hour. Went all the way to the finals.
He did. Yeah, all the way against came up against Johnny Gray, or Jonathan Gray, sorry. They've had one win each prior to this event, but it's the first time they've faced up against each other, these two.
Yep. So Stevie Fast got the hole shot, but Gray ran him down in the lights.
Yeah, look, it was only the narrowest of margins.
7 inches, apparently.
They're calculating that he won by, but Stevie will be back to fight another day.
So some other big news in the Pro Mod ranks is the turbo cars copping a £2 boost penalty.
Now, look, can I ask you? Can I ask you what do you think of this personally? Do you think they've jumped the gun? I know you're anti-turbo.
No. This is the thing, right? Okay, so the big controversy was when Castellano went 570 flat at 252, we went 574, right? The part that he didn't say was that he went 258.76, okay? Now, mile an hour is a measure of horsepower. And when you've got ETs that are only 400ths apart, but there's, 6.5 mile an hour difference, that's telling you the turbo cars have got more power.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So the £2, I think it's a step in the right direction, which begs to ask the question, why did they take the overdrive away from the blower cars so quick?
Don't know.
All that was going to happen was that the blower cars were going to have that little bit to be able to use when the air turned bad. So, we'll see what happens next season. Apparently the NHRA, from what I can deduce, they're constantly monitoring this, and they're looking for occasions where the average of the top 4 cars of each power adder get a greater than 400ths advantage, and that's when they decide to make a change.
Yep.
That's, from what I can understand, that's how they work. So, I don't think this is going to affect the turbo cars as much as Petty and Dillard. They're saying that they're back on a dyno and they're doing more testing. Well, that's bullshit. All they need to do is bring more boost in earlier. And then what you'll start to see is that the ET and the mile an hour will get closer to each other.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So you look at the ETs and the mile an hours for the nitrous cars and the blower cars, and normally the nitrous cars actually ET a bit quicker than their mile an hour. The blower cars seem to be on par, and the turbo cars seem to ET slower, like way slower than their mile an hour.
Yeah.
We had guys going well in the 260s not that long ago. I mean, there's top alcohol cars that don't go that fast. You know what I mean? So, I think this is a step in the right direction. I think all the NHRA is doing now is making them work on the short track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas before they didn't need to. They could be soft in the first half and make it up in the second half. But anyway, we'll see what happens as the season plays out. I think that it's great that the NHRA is actually trying to find that balance. NASCAR has done this over the years, tweaking the rules a little bit. V8 supercars, sometimes it seems as though one manufacturer is running away with it.
Yeah.
So we saw for many years it looked like GM was running away with it. Now people are suggesting that Ford's running away with it. But, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think that what I got out of that last meeting was the fact that, Stevie Fast made the finals, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
so
it was.
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, the Camry.
The Camry? There it is up there.
Yeah, there it is up there. There's one of them. There's been some progress.
There has.
Right? Yeah, I spoke to Jamie today.
Yep.
And we've got 2 Mega Squirt 2s. We've secured them.
Okay.
I think they're version 2 or Gen 2, something like that. One's going to run the transmission, one's going to run the motor. Right? So that's a done deal. The headers, I've taken a bit of a shortcut because we're running out of time. And I've basically turned the factory one's upside down, pretty much.
Okay.
So we'll see if that works. And at this stage, we're probably just going to bang it on the standard motor and see what happens.
Okay.
So, but at least we're moving forward.
Yeah, we are. We are. All right. So there you go. There's the update on the Camry.
We're still looking for sponsors.
Yes.
If anyone wants to buy some tyres, maybe.
Tyres, rims as well. That'd be great. Now, in general news, there was recently a published top 20 women of motorsport list. Now, this is in no particular order. Now, I've got to be honest, some of these women I don't even know, but I'm just going to rattle some of them off. Tell me what you think. Alexis DeJoria, this is in no order. I think, I don't know about the top 20, but Alexis, she's in there. Would you put her in the top 20?
Well, I mean, she has done a lot lately. Erica would definitely.
Yeah, Erica's there as well. Erica's in the list.
But, what about Shirley Muldowney?
Yeah, she's on the next page.
She's there, is she?
Yeah, she
and,
is.
And what about Rochelle?
No, that's the one I thought of, and she's not on there.
Yeah,
no,
see,
I would have had
Rochelle
her in there.
really, like it was Shirley and then Rochelle.
Yeah, definitely.
So it must be an American list, I'd say.
I reckon it is. Simona from V8 Supercar fame. Yeah. Anyway,
Has she actually won anything?
Not yet. No.
She scored points in Formula E.
Yep.
Why is Leah in there? What did she win? She won 2 rounds.
Leah's done okay this year. She's done all right this year, but this is an all-time list.
This is an all-time list, Nick. Come on.
I wouldn't have Leah in there either.
Christina Nielsen. Any relation to Leslie?
No.
Danica.
I don't want to be mocking Danica. She's actually lost her ride for next year.
Oh, really?
No ride next year.
That's a bit sad. And she set pole at Daytona 500. Is
yeah,
that
a couple
right?
of years ago, but she hasn't won. She hasn't won a race. She hasn't won a race in NASCAR. She hasn't won a race at all. So, like I said, I don't want to mock her.
But she has won in the Indy Series.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, but not in NASCAR. So it'll be interesting to see what she does next year as well.
See, Shirley's won 3 championships. That's
Yeah, no, that's right. Yep. So there's some names there. I'll put the list up on our Facebook page, and you can scroll through it. But there's some of the other names I've never even heard of. Shauna Robinson,
Sarah Fisher,
Sabine Schmidt, Pippa Mann.
Nah, not ringing any bells.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up? We got any races coming up?
Well, Bathurst.
Oh,
yep.
You know what? I forgot to mention it. I have, as usual, I have a bombshell as you commonly refer to it. My phone's buzzing in my pocket. What's going on? Okay, so the Motorplex, right? We've been talking about this radial racing. Well, they're doing it.
Oh, really?
They're doing it. Yeah, I got in touch with Ray.
Yep.
It's happening. So at this stage, the rules are the Australian Pro Street Association outlaw radial rules. Okay? So they're only going to run it at, I think he called them the Pro Boost events or something boost events, right? But they are running it. So basically what those rules mean is I think up to a 315 radial, right? Any power adder, any engine combination. There are minimum weights, but you need to have the front rails. So 3/4 chassis car.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a done deal.
Oh wow!
So we can't race Old Faithful, but it's a move in the right direction.
It is a move in the right direction. Yeah.
Once it becomes popular, he's going to split the class to 275 and outlaw radial.
Yep.
So the Australian Pro Street Association 275 rules will come into play. So the current rules for 275 are basically the same as True Street, not Mod Street. So untubbed, standard suspension locating points, no moving the springs inboard or any of that stuff. And yeah, pretty much all steel panels except for the bonnet, the boot, and the bumpers, and minimum weights once again. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. If he gets enough cars for both classes, then he'll split them.
Yeah, okay.
Right? But yeah, it is definitely happening. So,
well, that's excellent.
Yeah, I think that we should head down there and check them out when it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it should be some good racing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if they're going to give it a good nudge, they'll be putting some glue down on the track because the radial cars need the VHT.
Yeah.
So there you go. We'll end on a bombshell.
That is a bombshell. No, that's huge. On another note, you and I have been called upon for voiceovers. Did you know
really?
That? Yeah. I told you. You did the voiceovers.
Was I listening when you were telling me? Or was I welding?
You might have been welding, actually.
So, yeah, you notice I'm wearing the shirt?
You are, yes. Look at that. You see the shirts there? The competition is still running. It finishes at the end of the month, so the next podcast will have a winner. But get your entries in. So your entry is a number plate for the Camry that's up there.
Who's leading?
Oh, I don't want to say.
Oh, okay.
But I have a favourite.
Do you?
Yeah. But I don't want to
How
say.
How are you going to put them all in a hat and pull them? Or
no, I've picked...
We're going to select them.
No, we're going to select them.
We got a panel?
Yeah, you and me. That's the panel.
It's the panel. It's like a fender. Or a bumper.
So yeah, get your entries in. You've got another 10 days, end of the month.
So all right, what's going on with this voiceover? What are we doing?
Yeah, so we've been asked to do a voiceover for a video for Girls Talk and Kids UK. So that's just talking about it's an anti-bullying campaign that they're putting together, and that'll be running at the Motorplex on the opening meet on the 28th of October. So keep an eye out on the video. Listen to those voices. They will be yours and my voice.
Do you know what the lines are yet?
Yeah, they're here. We've got to do this after. Once we turn up, we've got to do this.
Oh, all right, tonight. Let's hope it doesn't rain. All right,
that's it.
Let's wrap it up.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for having me here again, again.
Thanks for listening to my rant.
No, it was good. It's good to have a rant. I enjoy it. I always have a Lewis Hamilton rant, so you can have yours. All right. Thanks, Simon. Thanks for your time.
Nick.
Take care.
See you on the street.
See you guys.
Talk and power stresses all characters and events on this podcast, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly. We do not encourage street racing or the use of turbochargers.